Hi, everyone. I'm Teresa Lisum, coming to you with my amazing guest co host, Jane Lybecker, and we're evolving women. I'm evolving, you're evolving, we're all evolving, and we're on this journey together. So we're here to help with that journey. We want to offer you uplifting messages, new perspectives, maybe some tools, some resources, some new wellness ideas, maybe some mindset shifts, maybe plant some new seeds so that we all evolve together. And we're also here to give you permission to be your best self. So welcome. We're so glad you're here.
Welcome.
So, as life changes, so do the ways we celebrate holidays. And we're recording this right before a holiday. And so, we're going to explore this whole idea of having to reinvent how we celebrate holidays based on what has happened in our lives, what changes have taken place. So, Jane, welcome. We're so glad you're here. I'm sure you have lots of thoughts around that because I know your life has changed multiple times, as all of ours do. But every little change requires a new way of thinking, a new path that we need to follow, a new way of celebrating. So, thank you for coming and please chime in on how your form of celebrating has changed for you.
Over the years, and because I'm 75 years old, there's been a few major changes in my life.
That happens with age, huh?
One of them was a divorce, and that definitely changed how I celebrated the holidays, any of them. And then recently, the loss of my daughter was such a big one, something you don't expect to happen.
Mhm.
So what's happened with that is there's a lot of holidays like Halloween and the 4th of July where it's all about friends, you
Yeah.
know. It can be about family, but more likely you're going to find some friends to celebrate. There's a couple of holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas where it tends to be focused around family. And so they want to be with their families.
Yeah.
And my own, a brother and sister, they want to be with their
Yeah.
own
Yeah.
families. And so I had to learn, what am I going to do if I'm starting to feel alone and isolated?
Mhm.
So one of the things that I was like, I just really celebrate a lot going up to it. I make sure that there's some place that I can go.
Mhm.
If it's not to a family's celebration, it is to a friend's or our waking up Christmas morning is sometimes a challenge. I like to watch a lot of Hallmark movies because those are really feel-good movies. They make me
Mhm.
feel good. The day after Christmas, boom, I'm done with them. But leading up to Christmas, I do, it's pretty much mostly what I watch. And I do a lot of singing of Christmas songs with my friends. I go to karaoke a lot in Christmas songs. So, and I go to as many holiday gatherings of my friends as I can. I try to fill up that cup
Mm. But
with
it
that.
sounds like you had to recreate or reinvent how you
I did.
approach these holidays.
I did. Yes.
Mhm.
So, when you have children, no matter how age, it's what age it focuses around your children.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when and I know there's a lot of people out there that don't have children, but I was used to it. I had one and
Mhm.
then and then she was gone. So yes, I changed the way I do it. I buy myself a present and put it under the tree and try to forget what it was. So I'm surprised
Oh, I love that.
when I open it on Christmas morning. And yeah, and I will maybe plan something special to eat,
Mm.
some treat. that I don't usually allow myself to have, like really fine chocolate. Got to be careful with that though, because the sugar can also affect your mood. So
True.
yeah, I have to be careful with that.
But
But yeah, it's like uh I approach it differently. Like I said, I party, 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 party right up until and fill up my cup.
and maybe you're recovering then once the
Yes,
holiday
more.
actually arrives, like, oh, I finally get a break from all those parties and
Yeah,
all that singing.
yeah.
It's a self-care day for you.
It's a self-care day, and I will connect with a friend or two, have a call with them and see how things are going for them, and just connect with
Hmm.
them
Love that.
because I like to be around people. And this
Hmm.
is a thing that makes it even a little more challenging for me. I don't like silence. I don't
Hmm.
like to be by myself unless I'm recovering from,
Hmm.
from too much
Hmm.
partying or whatever. So yeah.
And
So
but
yeah.
you know that about yourself. So you're able to, like you said, fill your cup and be
Yeah.
around people and nurture yourself because you
Yes.
know that you need people. People energize you. And if you're not around people, then I'm sure you can feel your energy dip and you
Yes.
go in a bad place.
I can
Emotionally.
go to a
And
bad
so
place.
it also sounds like you have tools and ways to keep yourself at that high energetic level.
I plan ahead. I
Yeah.
do plan ahead what am I going to do? I don't leave it to chance.
Love
Although if
that.
something happens, you know, and I get invited somewhere, of course I will go
All the
do that.
better.
All the better.
Bonus. But I
Yeah.
know you've had some pretty significant life changes that have put you on this trajectory. I know you used that word before we started recording, but just kids growing up, getting married, having their own kids. I mean, I know, and this happens to every married person, you have to figure out how to involve the other family, the other side, and there's not so much time. And when do you go to this family? And when, like there's all this
Oh yeah.
reconfiguring of how to spend time with these different groups of people that you're now part of.
You
So
may have
there's,
been so used to celebrating on Christmas Day, and then all of a sudden
mhm,
the other family says, "No,
yeah.
we're taking Christmas Day." So
Exactly,
you
exactly.
plan
It can,
B, start celebrating on Christmas Eve.
yeah, it can get complicated.
Yeah.
And like some people trade, well, this year we're doing this first, and so, but you're right, it is all about planning, and people have to be open to being able to change. Things may have to be different now, and you be okay
Yeah.
with that. It's just, we can't be contained and stuck in a limited way of thinking and how it plays out for us because
Well,
that's just
that takes all
causes
your joy away.
misery.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's going
miserable.
to be more stressful. So be
Yeah.
flexible, be adaptable, be able to go with the flow, which I know is easier for some people than others. But
Mhm.
I think if you have that thought in your head that, I can be flexible, I'm going to go with the flow, then it's going to make it easier than if you say, well, that's not how we do things, or whatever.
You have certain rules that you follow that, your
Right.
tradition. You have to tell yourself, is that really that important?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
What's more important?
Yeah, I love that. Is tradition
Yeah.
more important or is those spending time with certain people in their time frame more important to you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that you brought that up. And there was something you said, where was it? Um, I don't know. It'll come back to me. But I think it comes down to making those choices, making those decisions, making those plans, and being intentional and proactive. Like I said, don't leave it to chance. And if it
Yes.
takes some time to figure it all out, that it takes time. Oh
It
well,
does
what can
take
you do?
time. And each year I get a little better and a little better at it.
Yeah, I
So
love that proactive way of looking at it.
yeah.
And I do tend to forget that people are in a position such as yourself, because I am lucky and blessed enough to have, my kids around me and blah, blah, blah. We make it work. But so I do tend to forget that there are people out there that don't have family members for whatever reason. And I know what it was. You said when people get to a certain age, that does happen more frequently, where
Mhm.
loved ones have passed. Maybe people have moved for whatever reason. And so the older we become, the more I think we possibly have to be more flexible and more creative in terms of how to embrace the holiday and the celebration.
Absolutely. It's good to have a community.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
So
Um,
important.
and I mean, I remember when I was a young mom and I had young kids, I didn't have many friends. Like, I didn't have a support system. So I know that's easy to say, but for some people, it might be difficult to find a support system. And I'm not here to solve that problem for people, but it does take some effort and
Hmm.
some intention and some time to be able to create that community. So don't wait to the last minute, I guess, to figure out, well, who am I gonna, tap into to help me through this? That is a process that you're going to have to go through to create that support, even if it's just a couple of people. Doesn't have to be a
Exactly.
massive amount of people.
Exactly.
It can be just one or two people, good people. And if you still don't have, somebody I spoke with yesterday, I love what she said. Focus on somebody else. Like, focus
Yeah.
on how you can help your community. Focus on who you can go sing Christmas carols to. Like, instead of focusing on yourself, focus on other groups, on how you can serve out in your
Yeah.
community. And that might be your way of creating that support system when you reach out and volunteer or whatever.
Yeah. There's lots of opportunities to volunteer this time of year. So, well, any time of year, there's lots
Yeah,
of
I was just going to
opportunities.
say any time of
You
year.
just need to Google it.
Which
Just
is,
put it out.
yeah, our technology nowadays, yeah, gives us that opportunity
Mm.
to Google it and find that information. Whereas in the
Right.
past, it might not have been as easy as it is now. But yeah, and I'm guessing people might feel sorry for themselves. I think you might have mentioned that that was something that sometimes comes up for you. And I
Yeah.
guess people might want to make that decision. Do you want to spend time in that energy
Yeah.
and in that frequency, that low vibration? Or would you rather uplift yourself and get out of that energy? And how are you going to do it? So, my thought is don't depend on other people
Well, there's that.
do that, like to help you get that energy up. Like you said, you have to plan for it. You have to be proactive.
Yeah.
You take the steps. Don't wait for other people to come to you.
Another thing that I've done is like schedule that time. Okay, maybe it's unrealistic to think you're not going to have a little downtime. I mean, a
Hmm.
little bit of downer time, where you're feeling sorry for yourself. Allow yourself to have that for 5 or 10 minutes
Yep.
and
Yep.
then get going.
Love that.
Feel the feeling and then move on.
Yeah, that is a great point. Give yourself permission to feel the feelings
Yeah,
and not deny them, stuff them down, gloss over them. If,
yeah,
if someone feels a little down, maybe depressed, whatever, feeling sorry for themselves, all right, give yourself time to recognize that and acknowledge it and spend some time, allow it to move through your body, and then take some action and try to switch that up.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, thank you for
That's
that.
very helpful to me to do that.
I
I always said to people, I schedule my grief.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
When it
Wow.
is, when I'm feeling safe, you know, I do that.
Mm. And I am going to bring this up because I know we both are able to help people around those emotions with something we call essential emotions. It could be, I call it the release technique. I don't know if you call it the freedom technique, but we have a process, both Jane and I have been trained in this, to help people release those emotions that they might not be able to get through on their own.
Yes, it's a very helpful process. I could do that for myself too if I need to. So,
You want to
but
speak
since
a
I've
little?
been through that, all I have to do is smell that essential oil.
hmm
I just do it all over again. So,
So I don't know if you want to speak to that a little bit, just for our viewers to know that there is simple, easy ways to help themselves or to connect with, me or you or some other coach who can help them through a downtime because we all, get stuck in that. I mean, I can say good things about how not to get stuck in all the time, but that doesn't mean it's easy to get out of.
it
And
happens.
yeah, we're just human. That's just what happens. But yeah,
Yeah,
you want to tell our viewers a little bit about that process, that technique?
it's a specific process. You may be familiar with visualization and things like that. It uses that. But the thing that makes it different is the use of essential oils, specific essential oils for specific emotions,
hmm
because the olfactory part of your brain is the strongest part and evokes the most memories. Once you associate an oil with the specific release, all you have to do is even imagine smelling that oil again, and it works. So it makes it
hmm
a lot faster.
And it's a very gentle, easy process um, that uses the oils. And Jane, you just walk people through that, right? Through those some
Right.
questions, some visualization. When to smell the oil. It's a very gentle, easy process, but it is very powerful.
Mhm.
So if anybody who's watching would like to experience that, feel free to reach out to Jane because Jane, we're going to drop your info in the description with this video,
Okay,
aren't we?
we are. Yeah.
So you can
Thank
get a
you.
hold of her if you so choose, and
Yeah.
she'll walk you through that. It's powerful. I know the first time I did it with somebody else who was training with me, it was very clunky going through the process. Like we were, going through and we were working on each other but we weren't very smooth about it. It was just like, like a child trying to learn something. Um, and it was clunky, but when we were done, we both kind of looked at each other like, oh, like that was terrible, but it really worked though.
It's amazing
Yeah, it was
how
powerful.
well it works.
Yeah, it didn't drip off our tongue smoothly, but the process still worked. So
Yeah, it is a
it's,
specific process, and we just walk people through it. They do the work. We just guide them.
hmm yeah, it
Yeah.
is a
So,
powerful process.
yeah.
There was something I was going to come back to. Oh, my brain has to come on track here today yet. It was, um, oh, keep talking. It'll come back to me. What
That
else?
is,
What else do you do out there in the world for people, for women? I
well,
know I'd like to help women because I think women really need extra support nowadays to really step into themselves. But what do you do to help in other ways?
no, there's a couple of other things that I do, and one of them is I'm a Eddie V, a certified strength coach, or a coach specializing in the Clifton strengths, as we like to say.
Yep.
And I also, so I love to show people how unique and awesome they are, and make them understand how awesome they are just the way they are, and how to use those strengths to their advantage. And then I also have a doTERRA essential oil business. So I'm what we call wellness advocate. And I can help people with that too, with those oils. I just did an aroma touch on somebody a couple of days ago, and it was aroma touch technique is the use of 8 oils applied to the spine in a
Mm.
specific way. And it's very, very relaxing and, you know,
Another
brings
powerful modality.
very powerful. Yeah.
I know when I was, before I started this journey of self-awareness and self-growth, and mm, I was I was actually part of a massage training. So I taught school for many, many years. And at one point during one particular year, I was lucky enough to take a massage course and, learn how to actually touch people and in a real positive way that was helpful for them. And that's where I really started learning about all these different modalities that are out there in the world. Like I didn't even know any of these existed, like reflexology, Reiki. Like I remember when I first heard about a chiropractor, I'm like, what? Like I had no clue what a chiropractor did because that's not the model I grew up with. I grew up with a regular medical allopathic doctor. So like my world just expanded immensely when I learned about these other modalities out there. So that's why I want to bring this information to other people who might be watching this who don't know that there are other things out there to help us on a mental level, emotional level, a spiritual level, physical level that's outside what you grew up with or what you learned, a way
Yeah.
to help your health and your mental well-being. Like I didn't know, and I was like an adult at that point in time, and I still didn't know about it. So I'm bringing this up because I hope that other people watching this can have that same insight, like, oh, like there's other stuff out there that you could do to take care of yourself. Like, who knew?
So many things. Acupuncture is another
Oh,
one.
yeah, yeah, that's another great one. Yeah, so many. And energy medicine
Energy
is
healing,
there's sound healing.
hypnosis.
There's so much out there. So
Yeah.
anybody who's watching and listening, yeah, if you don't know about any of those, get connected with us, do your own research. There are so many beautiful ways of maintaining our health and our well-being that is not we're going to say traditional way,
Right.
the medical model that many Americans go by nowadays or
So
have in the
knowledge is
past.
power. You don't have to do it, but know about
Right,
it.
right, right, right. And it's changing. More people it's becoming more mainstream to go to these complementary modalities. Like we've just talked about essential oils. I never knew anything about them until well into my adulthood. Probably,
Yes.
well, I think I've been with them like 12 years now. So prior to that, I knew nothing about them, but yet here they were these um, oils that were being used for thousands of years. And we kind of went away from them and now we're coming back to them. So it's just all about, like you said, learning and hearing and exploring and finding what works for you, what resonates with you.
Yeah, exactly.
I love all those
I
modalities.
do. I do too.
They're all so fun. So we have just a few minutes left. Is there anything you might want to say to kind of finish up our conversation here that we haven't talked about yet?
Uh, well, there's one thing that I like to say is when those things hit your life that are changing, when I say change the trajectory of your life, you
Mhm.
have a decision to make. How are you going to learn from it?
Yeah.
And what are you going to use? How are you going to use it
Oh, I
for the
love
greater
that.
good and for your own self?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. How can you change that experience, like you said, for your good and for the good of everybody else. Like, yeah. And I've noticed that about a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs. They've been on a journey, a growth journey for themselves. And when they come out at the other side as a better person, they want to go back and share and extend a hand to other people who are in a or who were in a similar place that they were, and they want them to come forward a lot faster. And
Yes.
I think that holds true for both me and you.
Yes, absolutely.
We've been to a certain place. We want to help others bridge that gap and move through it a lot
A
faster.
lot faster. Learn from what we've learned and,
Mhm.
yeah, share that.
I
Hmm.
love that. Thank you. So yeah, make a decision, take what you've already been gifted, learn from it, and then turn it around and gift it back to the world. Love that.
Yeah. I
So
like the way
that,
you rephrased that. That was
oh,
nice.
thanks. So we want to thank everybody for listening. Jane, I want to thank you so much for coming on and
Thank you.
sharing your wisdom. Appreciate and your perspective. Jane's info will be in the video description, so feel free to look for her on the different platforms, reach out to her and make a connection, get some more information. And so appreciate you, Jane. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
right back at you, Teresa.
Okay, my friends, thank you so much. And I'm going to say subscribe to the YouTube channel, check out other episodes of Evolving Women, all that other stuff I'm supposed to say. We would love to have you part of this Evolving Women community. So thank you, everybody. Thanks, Jane. Bye bye.
Bye.